on the Japanese version of the game. So the main difference between the is text. Text scrolls faster on the Japanese version of the game, and in any percent, this saves like what, close to a minute.
Yes, 50 seconds for using Japanese over English.
And to make text scroll faster, you just hold A. It's pretty simple. Off with the gateway bunnies here, which is probably the worst part of the run for, or at least the worst part of early game. These are notoriously annoying to deal with.
Yes, a lot of resets happen in this level.
Basically, you can kind of stun the bunnies by shooting them with a star bit. Somewhat easier to catch, but a lot of the shots require really difficult aiming with your pointer, which is obviously not the easiest thing to do. The setup where he faced Luigi in a specific direction and then pressed, I think it's the C button on the nunchuck, which centers the camera behind you. And that kind of gives you an easier camera setup. You're gonna. That's an interesting choice. And if you
Danny
happen
gets
to,
good bunnies.
Danny got decent bunnies. It looks like Claire's on somewhat decent bunnies here.
Yep.
Did that pretty well. Yeah, if you like miss all the star bit shots on the bunnies, Luigi does run fast enough that he'll eventually catch up to the bunnies. And also after a while, they'll slow down, or sometimes they'll bump into an object and they'll just kind of stop in place for a little bit, and you can use that to your advantage if you need to.
Right.
We meet Rosalina, who's kind of your guide in the game, and she gives you this Master Luma, who gives you the ability to spin, and you can't beat the game without spinning. Spinning basically allows you to gain more height from your jumps. You can hit levers, you can hit on stars, you can kill enemies, stuff like that. Small text skip where he kind of breaks that back crystal first, and you can skip talking to that Luma and also break all the other crystals at once. You do right there where the camera kind of twitched there for a second is what's known as a landing animation cancel. So when you land from a launch star, if you can go into first person mode as soon as you land and then exit out of it immediately, animation and saves about 1 second each time you do it. And since you take a lot of launch stars in this run, it adds up.
So there's a lot of small optimizations you can do on these planets, but the main things, the main time saves are coming up. We have a Luma text box skip.
Just for record, on that planet, that Goomba Claire just killed, you have to talk to that Luma in order for it to spawn. It just doesn't spawn otherwise. And also, for that big Goomba that Danny just killed, you can shoot a star bit at those pillars sticking out of the planet, and it creates a stun in a certain radius around the pillar, and that stuns the Goomba.
Okay, let's see if... Yep. 4-frame window, you gotta press A. And he misses it. That's not good.
So if you press A as soon as you land, you can actually jump out of the text box. And you can jump out of the Luma's text box range, which can save around 15 seconds. It skips that entire cutscene there.
And Claire gets it.
She also goes for the homing ground pound off that Luma, which is like a couple extra seconds, I would say. See them both skipping this other Luma's text. Danny can do it just by kind of maneuvering around the Luma a specific way, whereas Claire can do it because she's using two-player. Claire can actually do it by just stunning the Luma and holding it in place. This just kind of keeps the Luma from being idle, which kind of allows you to talk to it. The first star of the run for both runners. Gateway, but since again this is a 2.5-hour run, anything can happen.
Definitely.
We have a rather long cutscene coming up here for, and a lot of text that you won't be able to read because it's in Japanese. So, for the 2P advantages for Claire, so Claire's going to be playing with a second controller, which there's multiple different ways you can hold 2 Wii remotes at once. It's really not that difficult. The main advantage is if you do a jump and then do a homing ground pound in midair and have Wii remote at Mario or Luigi and press A, you'll do an extra jump in midair. It's somewhat specific, but if you additional height from a jump that you normally wouldn't be able to, and it makes a lot of skips either easier with 2P or in some cases flat out possible with 2P. In addition to that, you can also use the second player to just have Luigi start a jump from the ground, which is somewhat useful. Claire's going to be able to, as you saw, you can stun enemies and hold stuff in place. And also you can collect extra star bits, and star bits are obviously a necessity for the run.
And we'll be seeing Claire using that, the ability to stop boulders in their tracks to get more star bits. And actually she's going to be doing using a different route, which involves Battle Rock's secret, feeding a hungry Luma there. So we'll explain that when that happens.
The first part of the run is usually the route is rather static. And usually once you get to the fountain, that's where there's a rather new route for 1P players that's on the rise. I have no idea if Danny uses that route or not. But also because Claire's using 2P, she's going to do a different star than what Danny's going to do. Heading off to Good Egg's first star, or Good Egg 1. And you're going to get to see some pretty interesting sequence breaks right from the get-go, because just like with every other Mario game, when making this game, Nintendo didn't account for the fact that you can jump. And so there's a lot of skips that are literally just simple jumps. Also certain areas where the gravity fields of some planets are much larger than they should be. And so it's possible by using specific jumps and whatnot. And you'll be seeing this a lot throughout the run. Specific jumps can allow you to enter the gravity zones of certain planets early. It uses that long jump to skip talking to that Luma. That's just one of those instances. That's no idea how that was missed in testing. The camera cancel there.
So Claire's going to stop the boulders here and get some star bits. Using the second player.
You can't normally kill those boulders in 1P, correct?
You can shake on the weak red part, but that's very slow.
A triple jump there to enter the gravity field of this planet early, and he skipped killing that piranha plant. He's going to skip killing this piranha plant by backflipping into this gravity region, so those are 2 back-to-back gravity skips. And theme in this game. This will take us into the first major block. Ooh, Claire not exactly getting that jump the way she wanted to. Require that high of a jump. Also, right there, you saw Claire do what I was talking about earlier, where you can initiate a jump from the ground using 2-player. It's not as useful as a 2P jump, but it's usually better than setting up a side flip or a back flip in some instances. A simple boss.
Right, so 2P, for those who... Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
You go.
It stands for 2 players. It's basically how you can use the second player Wii remote. I'm going to be using. Right, both of them having a rather solid Good Egg 1 aside the second gravity skip. Really saved a little bit of time on her. Little segment where Polari, this black Luma, is going to teach us about star bits and how useful they can be. We can actually speed up this process by a little bit by shooting 7 star bits at Polari first, and then grabbing the other 7 after, between when you shoot the last one and when the next cutscene starts. Some of the time loss you would normally get from that, and you don't really lose any star bits by doing that. It's a nice segue into the only level in the game that actually, into the only main star of the game that actually revolves around star bits.
Yeah, so runners are going to be forced to collect 100 star bits to complete this level. Feed the Hungry Luma.
I believe this is this Hungry Luma requires the most star bits out of anyone.
Inside a level, yes.
Yeah, and it's inside a level, and it's the first one you encounter in the game.
Right.
Right there, Danny just shot star bits at those blue guys to basically allow him to get 3 star bits each from those. And right here, what he did there is a homing ground pound. When you spin and then immediately ground pound, you will home in onto the nearest item, enemy, or NPC. And by doing it off that Luma in a specific way, you can reach that launch star early. And you're going to see Claire do that right here. Advantage of 2P for Claire is that she's going to have a much easier time grabbing a higher amount of star bits. Again, because you can kill many more enemies, break open more crystals. Having 2 cursors flying around, you're much more likely to grab star bits. Quite a bit of time on Danny because she doesn't even have to break any crystals. She's just going to have to run through a flower patch and then talk to the Hungry Luma. And there we go.
Got it already.
Didn't even have to run over there.
Yep.
2P is going to be advantageful for Claire. As you can see, just little stuff like that. And also, again, certain skips are going to be much, much easier. Now, this star is relatively straightforward. It's just a matter of simple platforming skips for this planet. On the next planet, the Cylinder Planet, there is a somewhat tight cycle you have to make with this Crusher platform. I expect both players to be able to make it, though. It's not terribly hard. I'm gonna make it. Thing about that section right there, it's got a good shot at it here too. Yeah. So the thing about that section is that if that Crusher thing crushes you, when you get squished in this game, it is a one-hit kill. It doesn't matter how much health you have; you are automatically dead. You skip all the star chips just by long jumping straight to the star.
And we'll see how frustrating that can be when we get to levels with tox boxes like Beach Ball 3 or Toy Time 2. Can be very frustrating to get squashed by them.
Boxes have some rather frustrating properties. Into one of the few really, really big skips of the run. Reset point for sure. This is not an easy trick to learn. It does save a good portion of time. What you're going to see them do is take an you're not supposed to go to where the launch star is in Honey Hive 2, in Honey Hive 1, but you're able to do so by utilizing well, first of all, what you're going to I'm going to try to explain this the best I can. So you're going to see Danny do one technique of slope climbing here, where you can run up a slope and continuously spin to climb up it like this. Here, and then do some other jumps to get to this area that you're not even supposed to get to on this star. I'm onto the tree, and then he's going to use a different type of slope climbing where playing the direction Luigi is facing, and then you're actually able to spin in midair after the slope jump, which you're going to see him try to do here. There we go. Now he's on the tree. And now he's able to can repeatedly do that to climb backwards up the tree. And he wants to reach a specific point, jump from that tree, and reach the other tree. So this tree is actually connected to the last part of the level.
Ooh, that was very close to missing from Denny, but you got it. That's simple.
Especially well. So again, because Claire has 2 players, he's able to initiate these jumps, and that's just speeding up the process of climbing the tree.
First try from both players, which is nice.
It's around a minute, I think.
Yes. Which is a lot.
Basically, entire level. Although it does take a little bit of time. version of that strat that's slightly easier. You saw them do a butt slide. It's significantly harder to time the jump, especially with the odd camera turn at the end. What beginner players do is they'll actually slide backwards on their belly by climbing all the way around the tree. And that way they can just fall backwards off the tree and have enough momentum to just spin and wall kick onto the tree. At Hive 2, you're going to see them do the same movement that they did for Honey Hive 1. I don't know if Claire does the tree backflip strat. And he does. But
do you mean not climbing the tower?
Tower. So there's kind of two different variants of this level, and
yeah, I think.
Yeah, I really quickly want to bring up what you just saw Danny do there. If you jump on a specific frame when you land, you can also jump out of a landing animation, but it's frame perfect in 60 frames per second, and it's only really useful at the start of various levels.
Yeah, it is a nice boost, and you may as well go for it in every time because there is a small animation otherwise, so there's no disadvantage of not going for it.
Struggling kind of with this portion, but Danny's managing to do that backflip strat again. Now he has to kind of scale the tower using a couple of clever jumps. And for the rather advanced waterfall strat, I don't know what the name for it is.
Yeah, this is a bit of a variant on that strat made by Valu. Saves about a second.
The tree backflip strat, and she executed it quite well.
Yeah.
Had quite a bit of trouble actually getting up to the launch star, so Danny was able to. Oh boy. So what just happened to Claire there. Another kind of common occurrence that can happen. You spin at a wall and then try to wall jump off of it. If you try to wall jump like as soon as possible, you just bonk immediately for no good reason.
Yeah, it's as if the spin keeps going even though you've touched the wall.
Fix that in Galaxy 2, and I found that if you try to delay the wall jump, it usually works better. Like if you let him slide on the wall for a little bit.
Yeah.
Those two instances, you need to backflip on as soon as you hit there, or else you're not going to be able to wall kick. Now they're taking a slightly different path. The boss fight star, Honey Hive 3. Where we're going to see the bee mushroom for the first time. You actually are supposed to get it first in Honey Hive 1, but we skipped that by doing the tree skip.
So we get the cutscene now to say, you're a bee, you can fly.
These flowers just by flying from platform to platform, really. Kind of a time save, but not hard to do either. It's actually extremely lenient. This boss fight, however, is not lenient. So for these last two phases, Bugaboom is going to kind of be flying around in the air. You use the bee mushroom and fly above him and then ground pound him. But as you're seeing Danny do right now, if you use the high jumps that you get, such as triple jumping and backflipping, you can actually You can actually get on top of Bugaboom without using the bee mushroom. It's actually rather a couple of good setups for it. Alright, Danny took a somewhat safe setup. You can actually go straight to the right there onto Bugaboom right before he starts to tilt to the side, which is when it becomes impossible to hit him. Waited it out and instead opted to wait for Bugaboom to do that and then become fully oriented.
Yeah, it's very precise, that triple jump strat in the last phase. So Claire had a bit of trouble in that first phase, but should be okay.
And it also, I believe it relies on the fact that when long jumping, if you press Z and A at roughly the same time, then your long jump will start with much higher acceleration, and also Luigi takes longer to accelerate in general. Basic advantages of Luigi, in addition to skipping the first 5 minutes of the game, he both runs higher and he both runs faster and jumps higher than Mario. The jumping higher makes certain skips easier and certain skips possible. Luigi has butter on his shoes, so he will slip and slide everywhere, and he also takes longer to accelerate. Luigi races are much, much harder. Loop-de-loop, the first motion control based level. Sit through this tutorial. There is a way you can skip the tutorial that requires jumping off the manta within a 3-frame window. And after you go through all of those steps, you would die. And you respawn, the penguin will ask you, I think it's how it works, is the penguin will ask you if you want to watch, if you are ready to surf, and you'll be able to surf right away. It only saves around 3 seconds. This obviously relies on very tight timing, and it's actually possible to crash the game while doing it.
Yeah, you have to jump off and then die at the right time to even save any time with the trick.
It has been done RTA before, but pretty much no one goes for it anymore. It's way too difficult.
Yeah, not worth it.
And the racing course, you really just want to take the tightest turns possible and try to just maintain the momentum going. It isn't as difficult. Even though controlling the manta ray is motion controlled, it's not as difficult as it seems. It's really not that hard. Danny to get around a 57 or 58, maybe a 56.
58.10.
This is looking like a 57.
Oh,
that's what I was gonna get.
I'm wrong. 57.50 for Claire.
I'm gonna go with a 56.95.
Oof. Okay.
Now is that they actually? They actually avoided a 1-up. Of course, when you collect your first 1-up, you'll get a small text box that wastes around like a second. It's very likely that they're going to grab a 1-up at some point in the run. You also get 1-ups for every 50 hits you collect in a level, so game overing in this game is pretty much impossible unless you like purposely die everywhere. Okay, I was off. You were closer.
We should have. You go.
Immediately jump off after the race finishes. You can still die.
Yes. Alright, so Danny's heading into Flip Switch Galaxy, which involves touching all of the flip switches. It's quite cycle based, so he wants to make sure his movement is in such a way that gets the best cycle, and also sets up a triple jump at the very end to be able to touch the star straight away.
The movement in this level is actually quite tight, making everything extremely there's pretty much no room for error here. But that was a very well executed flip switch from Danny. Now that he has 8 stars, he's going to be able to go to the first boss level. Boss levels alternate between Bowser Jr. and Bowser levels. You don't actually have to go to every single one to beat the game. There is one boss level you can skip. We're going to be going to both of the Bowser Jr. levels. 2 of the 3 Bowser Jr. levels and all 3 Bowser levels. And these these levels give you grand stars that are required for later domes. Also has an advantage in Flip Switch because she doesn't have to actually worry about the platform cycles, because with the second player Wii Remote you can just stop moving platforms in place. Accidentally hit that spring thing. Hold that platform in place so she wouldn't have to worry about the cycle. Coming up on Danny's end, you're going to see a rather neat gravity exploit by triple jumping, either on this starting platform or on the bullet bill cage. He's going to go for the bullet bill cage. The launch bill cage, it looks like. You can enter the gravity field of the Mega Lake planet. Because Mega Lake is so gigantic, the gravity field of that planet needed to be really big. But because it's so big, it's possible to reach it from the starting planet. leg, which is a rather straightforward boss fight. He is going to have to make a rather tight cycle to get onto the mega leg, because he wants to make it onto the right leg before it starts to rise up. It's actually extremely tight. He made it. I'm on these platforms here because the platform kind of shakes while you're long jumping off it sometimes. And the way momentum works in this game is if a platform underneath you is moving and you jump, then that platform's movement will actually get applied to your jump's momentum. And so if the platform, for example, is moving forward, it will go much faster. If it's moving upwards, then your jump gains more height.
So Danny guided the bullet bill over the cage rather than having to wait for multiple bullet bills to break the second cages, saving a bunch of time. Looks like Danny's going to get a low 26 terrace, which is nice. Very nice.
Not that far behind. She's basically one mega leg behind, and mega leg is a rather fast boss. So I would say at least within a minute of each other. Low 26 terrace, which is definitely not bad, especially for a race like this.
Especially for a race, yeah.
He's gonna get a high 26. Not bad. Still better than... where we might potentially see a big lead shift. So Danny's coming up on Space Junk 1, which is pretty much every Galaxy runner's least favorite star. Storm of the Reason. So there's two really, really finicky skips in Space Junk 1. The first involves using a Polestar's momentum that you receive when you release from it to kind of move yourself back into the background in a specific way to enter the gravity field of some planets 30 seconds into the level. It's extremely finicky, though, because the direction Luigi's facing while in the Polestar bubble changes constantly, and you need to be facing a specific direction so you'll get the right amount of momentum when you release from the Polestar. Fail it, you can lose quite a bit of time if you commit and fall all the way back. Take multiple tries. So ideally, he'll get it first try. Worst case scenario, we could be here all night. Around 25 seconds, so... on this skip here. Most top runners use kind of a neat little setup here. That looks really good. One skip.
And he gets it first try. Nice work. Also, just
now he
something
has to
to
do
mention.
Skip.
Something to mention quickly: both runners were triple jumped up to the fountain rather than taking the warp pad because the warp pad is a lot slower. Now Danny's setting up for Sludgy Hop here. Going to get a precise triple jump and into the mini pool star right there.
Supposed to
nice
do
work.
Break a bunch of crystals to free the toads, and then there's a cutscene where the toad spaceship comes down, and then you use that to get to the sling star. But using the using a certain technique that I'll explain later, known as stealth, it's actually possible to utilize the gravity of the curvature from that planet to get a really big height boost in your triple jump. All right, Claire got the Space Junk 1 skip. Very nice.
Nice.
Here reached the sling star. But Claire's actually going to have an advantage here because she doesn't have to do Sludgy Hop because 2P jump is extremely overpowered. He's just all she really has to do is just do a high jump and then a 2P jump, and she'll reach the sling star just like that.
There it is. That's the advantage of two-player right there.
Ways that skip is possible. Method was you would backflip off of a item block and then bounce on a spider in a specific way that you curve around the planet with just enough height to reach the sling star. Cool.
Yeah, it is impressive.
2, not too much of a noteworthy star. One tiny little skip right at the start here. Danny's gonna long jump past the bridge in order to skip having to lower it. Jump cancel. You can also, if you want to try to camera cancel that, there is a 1-frame window. You can't normally enter first person mode there, but there is a 1-frame window when you land that you can. Back here from this planet that Danny's about to leave from that ship, it's actually possible to reach some Polestar planets late in the Space Junk 1. It's actually rather cool to do that.
I did not know that. So Danny's going to triple jump up to the boss fight route so that he keeps the shell.
That's
right. And in this Camilla fight, you want to get shells, but there is a bit of RNG involved. So Danny gets the first shot straight away without having to wait for Camilla to shoot out a shell. And he also spun in front of Camilla.
His RNG, and also, I believe how it works though is that I believe the first time you start up the game, the pattern is always the same. Camilla more than one time in one game, then the pattern will be different.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
I'm not entirely sure if that's it. Don't quote me on that, but someone correct me if I'm wrong. But looks like Danny had a rather clean Camilla fight. Mentioning now is when you're spinning and you want to gain height, typically you want to be holding A, but with Luigi you actually want to spin with the nunchuck because it gives you slightly more height. Jumped out to spin at Camilla, which canceled one of her fire cycles. Attacks you can actually cancel in this game from bosses just by doing stuff with them. On a rolling green, another motion control based level. This time it is the rolling ball level. So this tutorial you can actually skip if you do the Galaxy, the rolling Gizmo Galaxy first, and then it skips the tutorial in this level. Straight on the ball. But we don't do the trial galaxies in this run. That will skip nicely.
Yeah, that saves about 8 seconds. It's nice.
It's too hard. You just got to know where to jump from, and you'll land pretty much every time. I believe if you want to play it risky, I believe there's also a strat where you can go off to the left, and you can land on a later portion of the ramp. But the time save is very minuscule because since you take a really long time to accelerate once you land, it doesn't really save as much time as it should. If you do utilize in the 120-star category, I believe. Player's actually opting to take the tunnel. This is not a bad thing for her to do, for sure. It's definitely a good idea to sometimes play safer race, especially because if you miss it, you die.
Yeah, Claire unfortunately missed it in a race recently, so I think she's opting to not do it, which is understandable.
I'm not sure what route is Danny doing at the moment. If he does Space Junk Comet at any point in this trip to the slightly newer route, but otherwise he'll be doing the standard 80% Luigi route.
So in Battle Rock 1, Danny's going to try and triple jump here on the very edge of the saucer to get into the launch star without using the blue pull star chips. So he misses it first try, but gets it second try. It's all about the positioning of the triple jump there.
For that. Now we have basically a minute-long auto-scroller.
Yes.
A lot of star bits from this. We'll use this time to just sort of mess around.
Yeah, we should mention that in this run we're going to be collecting 1,000 star bits in total, because 2 of the Hungry Luma stars are quite fast. One is Sweet Sweet and one is Drip Drop. Sweet Sweet, you need 400 star bits, and Drip Drop, you need 600.
A rather old route that nobody uses anymore, but I think it technically is faster, but no one uses it. Where you actually, in addition to that, you also go to Sling Pod, an additional 400 star bits. I'm not gonna remember for sure.
Right. I think that route is faster, but only if you do Sling Pod like a TAS.
So you would also do Space Junk 3 in that route, and only do Battle Rock 1 and Battle Rock Luigi, whereas this route does almost every star in Battle Rock. It is extremely fast.
So Danny's going to guide the Bullet Bill here to avoid some of these earlier cages and go straight to the final cage.
Difficult to dodge that one cage with all the star bits in it.
Yeah. And Danny actually jumped on top of the cage right before the Bullet Bill hit, so that he can just go straight down into the star. Saves a little bit of time.
Unlike SM64 or Sunshine, for the star cutscene, it plays as soon as you touch the star, not when you touch the ground. So as long as you just touch the star, you're not going to lose any time.
Right.
For this riveting, you're actually going to have to sit through it again for the Battle Rock Luigi star.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to skip this warp pad. The warp pad is actually a lot slower than you think it is. Looks to me like, I know that the newer route does Space Junk Comet in this first trip to Fountain, but I don't know when.
I think after Battle Rock 2.
Could potentially see that. The route doesn't actually do any different stars than the more older route that most people were to use, but it just reorders them mostly for travel time and star bit convenience. Gotta wait for this Bob-omb to explode on this cage. To lose time when doing the star, because she's also going to be feeding the Hungry Luma, which is just a little bit out of the way. The star bits from these chain chomps that Danny can't. Right here, after Danny breaks his cage, he's going to look up in first-person mode for a little bit. One thing to know about this game is that when certain aren't on camera, they just don't update at all. Stars in this game take about a couple seconds to act before they're actually able to be used. And so if he hadn't looked up in first-person mode to activate that launch star, he would have just flew past it when Link Star, and he would have had to fall back down to it, which is a couple seconds slower. And obviously it doesn't waste any time because you have to wait for the cutscene to finish anyways. He's going to be able to take out some of these chain jumps. She's actually not going to have to do that first-person mode strat, because what she's going to do is break open the cage and then feed the star bits to the Hungry Luma while the Sling Star is activating. Or actually,
So Danny's gonna be trying to get a fast crystal shot here by using the same looking up in first person, and he gets it first try.
You're supposed to shoot through the crystal once and then go to the other side and then use the other cannon to break the crystal again. But you can just take out the crystal both times in one cannon shot. And then you're lined up with the launch star, so you'll be able to take it right away. Wait there before moving forward. It doesn't matter if you wait or not. You still have to wait for the Bob-omb to explode either way. Wait for the platform cycles there to line up. It's worth noting that if you bonk on any of those platforms during the cannon shot, you'll just fall back down to where the cannon is. If you shoot past the star and every other platform, then I believe you will die. It's doing the older route.
Right.
Trouble with that bob on, but you should still have enough time. Getting the fast cannon shot.
That was very close, actually. Almost too late.
Star of Battle Rock. This star is pretty much revolved around the top men enemies that can bounce you around if you touch their sides, and you can. They also have spikes on their top that hurt you if you touch them, and if you spin them into a laser, then they'll die. Waiting here by triple jumping over to this launch star platform.
That's pretty precise. Nicely done.
Yeah. The spin at that top man. You can actually shoot at them with star bits to get some quicker kills. I mean, you can do it on that top man, for instance. He's going to do a little bit of a skip in this room. He's going to jump off of a blocks to reach the upper half of this gravity-based room. The triple jump there, and then he's able to skip right up to the ceiling. That saves quite a bit of time. Also, he ground pounded, because when you ground pound, you travel downwards much, much faster. It's almost instantaneous. Triple jumping into that field. Doing a space jump comet, which is, I guess, part of the route sheet. I don't actually know the GP route very well, but I guess this is part of the GP route. So on the optimal 90% route now, you would also do space jump comet this early. And yeah, this is what I was talking about when the skip is really finicky. Sometimes you just don't exit the right angle, but that looks good. Comet is basically the same as space jump 1, but you're on a timer.
And the risk in space jump comet is that you die and you have to start the whole thing again rather than respawning halfway through the level.
Box for dying. That asks you to try again, or if you want to return to the observatory. Just did that top maniac fight, which is relatively straightforward. Too much that can go wrong unless you're just constantly missing top maniac. Those little top man guys can knock you around, and it gets really hectic. Should be heading off to the first Bowser level now. That's what he's going to be doing. Danny and Claire's routes are going to diverge, and I'm not entirely sure when they'll be caught up again. I assume midway through the...
Yes, Claire will be skipping Freeze Flame 3, so at Freeze Flame Secret, both routes will come back, converge. So Danny's going to go for a Death Warp here, trying to die in a specific black hole to trigger the checkpoint. This should work. Yep, and skips a bit of the level.
Platform cycles midway through the level much easier to make. Since dying obviously resets the platform cycles. Thing here. The player is actually not going to be doing Battle Rock 3 now. So in terms of star count, they're in terms of star count, but player has Space Jump Comet done, whereas Danny has Battle Rock 3 done.
Danny triggering the Bowser cutscene a little bit early by long jumping off one of the lower stairs.
That's actually... Sometimes you can get greedy and try to long jump it for too early, or sometimes you'll spin too early and you'll bonk on the platform. Obviously not good. For that thing right here. You don't actually have to land on the platform, you just have to get close enough to where you can trigger the cutscene. Here Danny's going to be canceling Bowser's fireball attack by spinning at him.
Ideally, you want to spin in just the right position so you don't get knocked back. You want to be landing on the glass so that Bowser dives straight into the glass. So Danny gets a nice 1 second try as well for the second phase. Or the final phase, I should say.
Bowser 2, we're going to be seeing those cancels again, and it's much more entertaining both to watch and to do on that fight. Player uses the crystal there to get that hit on Bowser. Often.
Nice cancel from Claire as well.
Claire's having a really good Bowser 2 overall. And if Claire doesn't miss this last hit, she should be good to go, and she is. In these last few cutscenes, I want to explain tilt to the best of my ability. It's actually really hard to understand, so kind of bear with me. A variable in the Galaxy games that determines, based on the gravity of a planet, how far back or far forward Mario or Luigi is facing. In the Galaxy games, this will determine how high your jumps go. So if you're leaning far back, you'll have a much higher tilt. Actually go a lot higher. And in the first Galaxy game, your tilt can actually get conserved between surfaces. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because there is a skip in Beach Bowl 1, the next star you're going to see them do, that relies on having optimal tilts to where you can get a really high jump. Bowl 1, provided this level is done optimally, it should be done in like 30 seconds. You basically skip having to collect star chips in the water, and then you also skip having to go around the final portion of the... Also, just a heads up that the second Comet Observatory theme is the best version. Is going to have a little bit of advantage since she has the 2P jump. Not have to worry as much about tilt. Whereas for Danny, he's gonna if he doesn't get high tilt, then his triple jump spin won't actually go high enough. You can't wall kick off the platform, and it's very rare that you ledge grab it. If he doesn't get optimal tilt, he'll have to resort to a waterfall jump that's only a few seconds lower and is much easier and doesn't require as good a tilt. That beach there, his tilt is making him lean farther back. Off of this branch and not brush up against the wall to get good tilt. Come in this right spot, there we go.
Yeah, that was nice from Denny.
So many things can mess up in that star and just flat out ruin it for you. At least something similar. Tree branch. Luckily 2P jumps are OP. Through there was a major abuse of the 2P jump. As you can see, a ladder to gain a huge amount of height. So Beach Bowl 2 doesn't have anything too much going for it. You just go underwater, get the golden shell from the penguin, and then swim over to that teacher penguin and give it to them. So, Beach Bowl, you can actually skip this star and do Beach Bowl 3 without doing Beach Bowl 2. shell in the star to open the chest where the secret star is, and then doing that star. And then when you manually select that star in the star select menu, you can actually it actually loads the course version for Beach Ball 3. So you can do Beach Ball 3 without doing Beach Ball 2. Basically useless in terms of speedrunning, but it's pretty cool to do. I think it's the only time in a Galaxy game where you can actually skip a mission. Swimming underwater with spins, because since there's no cooldown in between spins, you can use it to go pretty fast underwater. Doing a Beach Ball Secret. Secret is... This is a star that can have a lot of variety depending on what straps you want to go for. Not sure what Danny goes for at the end, but I'll kind of explain it when we get there. Shell and then bring it up to the surface and then use it to break open a chest or chest to reveal a hidden launch star that takes you to these secret planets. Just to the ice flower. Basically allows you to walk on water by creating ice. And you can also wall jump off waterfalls by looking against the waterfalls. And he triple jumps up to that coin to skip having to lower cataract.
So Danny's going to try and do this fast enough to keep the ice flower for long enough to skate to the end of this final area to avoid using the cataquack. He's going to do a precisely positioned and timed backflip to go straight to the star without using the backflip. Right. Nicely done.
That was very good. If you take too long to set that up, then it doesn't save time over just luring the cataquack over. Want to say Claire goes for the cataquack lure, but
two-player jump. Two-player jump.
I didn't know if Chippy would be an advantage there.
Right.
Because... Alright. Oh, I didn't know you could do this.
So because Danny's already selected the third star in Beach Bowl, he's able to skip the cutscenes.
When there is a clear star on the star select menu, you can actually just point your Wii cursor off screen and just press A and you'll automatically select the clear star. Useful.
So here we'll see a skip. First of all, a triple jump on top of the Tox box, going straight to the end. And this is a pretty precise long jump to the top left, and precise spin, getting a wall kick, and that was nice from Danny.
So those Stone Cyclone Galaxy and Galaxy 2, which is this planet, which is basically this planet, but everything is sped up by 10,000 times. It exists, and I would honestly say it's easier in this game because you just have to hold a notch.
Right.
Whereas for the Galaxy 2, you kind of have to fiddle with your direction for a little bit. Get that skip without getting a wall jump, you can just there from the spin, but it's actually pretty rare.
Okay, let's see how Claire goes. Looking good.
Very good.
Nice.
It honestly looks harder than it is. It's obviously not easy, but Ghost of Galaxy, for some reason, they decided that instead of normally when you're playing through the game as Mario, you need to first play through the game as Mario, and get all 120 stars and beat the game before you can play as Luigi. And normally for these stars, you save Luigi, but we have to save Luigi as Luigi. Lazy. They did give the Luigi that you save some different dialogue so that it makes more sense, but it's going to be using this they're going to be using this rainbow star to kill this Boo without luring it into the light just by touching it. Ooh. Oh. Kind of have to. He's going to lose a little bit of time in this room because he's not going to be able to collect all the star chips as fast as he wants to. Is extremely awkward. Do not go all the way up there. The fastest trap for him to use, but it worked out. I know he's going to be going for a key skip. He's going to use a pull star to clip underneath the floor of the mansion and then clip basically straight into the final room, which skips collecting the key out here in one of the first rooms.
Nice from Danny. Let's see if Claire can maintain the Rainbow Star momentum. Okay, ran out pretty quickly. Using a ground pound to buffer that. Not buffer.
You lose speed with the Rainbow Star basically anytime you hold back or if you run into a wall, which is obviously really hard to do. It's really easy to do, actually, and it's really easy to run into a wall and lose all of your speed.
Yeah.
Key skip here. It's not difficult, but you do have to have a pretty good setup for it. Our first little backtracking session. So after clicking Ghostly 1, you're taken to the here because now Luigi's in there.
Right. We don't know who's ahead. We don't know who's ahead right now because they're using different routes. But probably Danny.
Yeah, Danny is more than likely ahead. They have the same number of stars, but they've done a different star. Comet, whereas Danny has done Battle Rock 3, and Battle Rock 3 I believe is longer. But also Space Junk Comet has like all the cutscenes because it's a comet. Danny, once again, because the launch star takes a couple seconds to activate, after feeding that Hungry Luma, he just went straight to talk to Luigi, because you have to talk to him in order for him to start appearing in galaxies and finding stars. And then he's able to go right back and immediately be able to take the launch star, which takes you to Sweet Sweet, which you aren't a true Galaxy 1 runner until you've died in this level on the run.
Yeah, it's all about the controlling your long jumps and not spinning at all if possible.
Long jumping is the fastest form of movement when you don't have like any special upgrades that allow you to go faster. He's taking this extremely tight.
It's really nice so far from Danny.
If you bonk basically anywhere, you're just dead.
Right.
And a good flip, and a good triple jump to finish it off. It's gonna be super irritating. It's about the Galaxy game, so that you can kind of adjust your long jumping angle between long jumps without having to like stop. Come with a cost of speed. Claire do it. She's probably going to be doing it quite a few times here. That first mail toad letter for Luigi that you just saw Danny get, that one automatically appears. You talk to Luigi, but the next two he has to make sure he talks to the mail toad. Time for the fastest star in the run. Particularly, you shouldn't really lose too much time on this star unless you try to go full out and pay the price.
So Danny's using a strat developed by Creepygar, where you just long jump rather than triple jump up to the top, setting up a wall kick and a spin. Saves about a second.
Yeah, you can just triple jump or backflip up onto that platform. Start really, really fast. She stars in the game, and you collect all 3 of them in 90%. Honey Hive Comet. So the 4 the first Cosmic Luigi races, where you have to race against a clone of yourself to get to a star. Cosmic Luigi, like I said earlier, he is a lot faster in these races than Cosmic Mario is. You have to play a lot more efficiently in order to save time. But luckily, this star has a really good sequence break that is quicker.
And at the start of these races, the runners are going to want to get a boost. There's a 5-frame window if you crouch and press A when Go appears. And Danny got it.
He's just going to fall off the fence and spin backwards onto this little ledge down here, which skips most of that area. That's actually a skip you would see riders do if they weren't doing the tree skip that they did on Honey Hive 1. About comets is that in this game they operate on a cycle-based system. Basically, every time you collect a star or enter a galaxy, and that means if you mess up your route at all, then these comet cycles actually get thrown off, and so making a routing mistake in any run of this game almost spells the death of the run, because it's usually very hard to recover, and that we have seen that in races before.
And Claire gets the boost.
And he's going to do Beach Bowl Comet, which is the last planet of Beach Bowl 3, but the moving platforms and enemies are sped up slightly. It's still not as fast as it is in Galaxy 2. Go for the same skip that he did on Beach Bowl 3. It's not any difficult. It's not difficult. It's not more difficult or easier. It's just the same jump. And then this could be an opportunity for Claire to close the gap. Honestly, Danny has been looking pretty good so far, and but he's just kind of faltered in a couple places, and Danny's been able to use this lead to his utmost advantage. First try.
That's nice. Yeah, both runners are doing quite well. Just very small mistakes.
It for Beach Bowl for pretty much now. Beach Bowl is technically complete since I don't think there's any more stars you can get before the purple coin comets. Huh, all right. So now he's going to do Bubble Breeze. So this is sort of a motion control based level, but it's also kind of a pointer based level. Blow a bubble around using the cursor.
Oh, Claire bonks on that long jump.
Right up there. That's a rather tight long jump to make, and it can actually be rather tricky. And now that she's died, it's going to be a lot harder to dodge the tox box, but she manages to do it without too many issues. Unfortunate mistake.
Gonna have to wait for this cycle though.
Danny, this is actually a relatively easy section to die to. It's very hard to control this bubble properly, and if you hit any of these mines, you're just dead. Oh, Claire died again.
Ooh.
Been nice to her. Flying right through Bubble Breeze. And now here's one of the worst programmed areas of the game. Nintendo was not thinking when they made this section. Because there's just a big invisible wall that you can walk on right there, and you just skip that entire section. Jump this time. Those two deaths are definitely going to cost her.
Yeah.
Long jump past the star. Spin. Walkway spinning in this game allows you to recover things like that. But Danny's going to be coming up on Ghostly Secret, and this could be somewhat of an equalizer. So Ghostly Secret, in this start, you collect a bunch of keys and you to kind of move the level and create these platforms that otherwise don't exist. It's kind of supposed to be a bunch of auto scrollers, but obviously because you can jump, you can skip most of them. And at the very end is a vertical scrolling section that has doors that aren't visible but still have collision, and you can stand on top of them and you can kind of climb up them to climb up the higher sections without having to wait. So these doors are extremely thin. I don't know what strat he goes for here. I assume he's going to go for the... over this door. I assume he's going to go for the standard one key strat, where he's going to go for this key. He's also going to collect this coin. So he should, at the very least, do this second. He's going to jump up on top of the door, and then jump outwards and walk up onto this door.
Okay, nice.
That's extremely difficult to do. Where you basically do that twice, where you would actually skip that first key entirely, and onto the first invisible door, then jump off of that onto the second invisible door, and then jump up to the door where the star is. But again, those door edges are extremely narrow. To Bowser Jr.'s Airship Armada. Actually a fairly big skip right at the start here. Can use the cannon to blast off to a ship later than you're intended to shoot it off to. A chunk of time. It's also made slightly easier by pressing Z when you enter a cannon, because when you hold Z inside of a cannon, the viewfinder is bigger. So that's going to allow him to basically get an instant shot. And he can use, and it's going to look like he's going to miss, but this pulse star is going to be able to allow him to land there. One of the airships.
Yep. Now, one thing to note is that Claire's going to go, as far as I know, will go for keyless, and also using two-player strats will save time on Danny if she gets it first try.
I've actually never seen keyless done with two pieces. I'm interested in seeing what this is going to look like.
Hmm.
Here, you press up against an invisible wall. Oh my! What the?
Yes.
World?
Very close.
Oh no! Wow.
Okay, Danny's picking up a shell for the fourth hit of the fight.
So this Bowser Jr. fight is no way. That is insane.
Yeah, it's impressive. So second try from Claire.
That's probably about even with what Danny did. Airship Armada behind, basically. So I'd say around 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, roughly.
To do Space Junk Comet, and so that could potentially. He had a pretty decent Space Junk 1 though, but mess him up. It's very hard to get a 2 for 2 good Space Junk 1. Still has Airship Armada to do, and the Bowser Jr. fight is not easy. There's just so many enemies that get in your way, and the shells can be very difficult to aim. If your throw is even the slightest bit off, you can sometimes miss. And missing one hit in that fight is like a 30-second time loss. It's very hard to recover from making mistakes in that fight. Before we head to the quick trip back to the fountain to clean up the remaining stars. Another solid lead here, and he hasn't. He's really made any major mistakes in this race so far. Having a really solid run right now.
Well, the only thing was the Lumatech skipping gateway, but that's only like 15 seconds max.
Yeah, that's the only thing I can do now.
Alright, Claire's heading into the Bowser Jr. fight. Good so far.
What really matters here is getting this Koopa right before the cutscene. Free hit.
Looks like she did well. Very nice.
Right, should be doing the battle comment. So this is the first, and I think, yeah, this is the first Daredevil comment will be. Where Daredevil comments, you take one hit and you're dead. Couldn't take one hit here, commentators curse, but... Alright, decent fight. It's basically the top Maniac fight, but with under Daredevil restrictions.
Right. And Danny plays it safe by after he hit the top Maniac, he landed on the ground rather than spun while in the air to avoid any knockback onto the red topman.
Danny had to make sure he talked to that male toad before going to the fountain so that the Battle Rock Luigi would spawn. See if player remembers. Otherwise, after have to make an extra trip back to the observatory and male toad. Now Danny's going to do Hurry Scurry, which is kind of a galaxy. Now, there's a lot of these one-star... Oh! Remember to talk to the male toad.
Now she remembers now. That's not good.
That's going to cost her a little bit of time. Like, the only thing interesting about her Scurry, in my opinion, is you make those platforms early to get to that monster early. And there's a variety of different routes people will use for these notes.
Well, at least Claire remembered. Not too
more time
late.
If she realized it too late.
Yeah.
Is going to do. Claire still has to do Battle Rock 3, and she's also going to be doing Battle Rock Secret, so it's going to seem like she's far behind Danny at this point, but in all actuality, she's just going to have to get an extra star here. A new Space Jump to Comet, so hopefully this star goes well for him. Let's get some Bless RNGs going for him.
Let's see if Claire can do the triple jump strat. Not quite.
Okay,
but two-player. Yeah. Why not?
Overpowered as heck. Relatively solid Space Jump 1. Let's see if he can match that with the Space Jump Comet. That's going to work.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Good so far.
Die at the end, and if we can get Sludge Pop, then he'll be in relatively decent shape.
Ooh, misses the input there. Or too early, I guess. Okay, second try.
Almost didn't work, but he was able to get just enough height. Yeah. It's been found that for that triple jump, if you just hold neutral after the second jump, you'll almost always get enough height from the triple jump. And Danny, again, if he dies anywhere in this section, he has to redo the star. Finish with like a 257 or a 256, which is fairly solid.
Yep.
It is past the 3-minute mark. top Maniac fight here. For a second, I thought she was on Battle Rock coming, and then I didn't see the 1 health bar.
Right.
Difficulty getting top Maniac into that laser. It can be rather tricky.
So Danny can skip.
Battle Rock Comet and Battle Rock Secret and Battle Rock Luigi. So she still has 4 stars to do here. Whereas Danny just has Battle Rock Luigi.
So again, Danny's in the auto scroller, collecting star bits. So I'll focus on Claire.
Things with the auto scroller, you can long jump around the platform and gain quite a bit of momentum due to the gravity. It's actually possible to get kind of out of bounds in this section. Useful, obviously, but it's kind of a neat thing you can do. There's a lot of useless glitches you can do in the Galaxy games that are really interesting. And in Space Jump 2, you can actually reach some planets in Space Jump 1 using a gravity exploit. And it's completely useless, but it's really cool to do. With this star, Danny has to make sure he doesn't pull a classic sludgy move here where he accidentally Battle Rock 1.
It can happen.
Either manner.
Definitely.
Luigi's trapped on the underside of this planet. And you have to free him using these bullet bill. Slightly easier to execute than the one in Battle Rock 1, but it's really hard to get that bullet bill to curve around the bottom of the planet without. I'd say there's still roughly around a 3-minute gap between Danny and Claire at this point.
Yeah.
Now Danny is completely done with the fountain, and he's going to be heading to the bedroom. Basically, the summary of the bedroom is we do all of Gusty Garden, all of Freeze Flame, no one cares about Dusty Doom, and then you do the Alpha fight. Sweet. Kind of a route through here.
Claire having a little bit of trouble on Battle Rock Comet.
I'm doing the edges of Pac-Mania there.
But at least she didn't die.
Turn 1 is pretty much straightforward beginning here. You just use these flowers and ride the wind. And come off of this first flower if you jump off of it at the right time. Piranha Plants then, that's extra style points. Second flower. Here he's gonna he's gonna try to ride this flower for as long as he can. Reach the gravity field of this second to last Bean planet here.
And then gonna triple jump to the final one. Oh, he gets it.
That's a fairly lenient triple jump.
And Claire's heading into Battle Rock Secret now.
You're going to replace Freeze Flame 3 with, as this is actually a relatively fast start, if she gets this first try, of course. Raw minigames are notoriously difficult for casuals.
This one's a lot easier than the one in Dreadnought.
Hey, managed to get that quick funny catch there. player has enough time at the end, she's going to be able to show off a rather neat glitch in this game right here.
Whoa, nice.
Side flip. Basically, there's certain areas in the game where if
Wow.
you start a side flip facing the camera and then immediately hold left or right, your side flip will gain a huge amount of height. And it's not exactly known why it happens, and it's barely useful in anywhere in the Galaxy games, but it's really cool to show off there.
Definitely.
Secret from player. The Gusty Garden 2, which I think is the longest star in Gusty Garden, mostly because the boss takes almost the entire length that it takes the Gusty Garden song to loop, and then you also have to do a boss fight. To do the Battle Rocket Luigi, it should be done with the fountain. So Danny's going to appear slightly farther ahead than he actually is, because he still has to do an extra star into the flame. A couple planets in Gusty Garden 2 are among some of the worst in the game. So recall earlier when I said that most moving elements won't move when they're on camera. Monty moles. And so if you don't get them on camera at the right times, their patterns here will be really screwed up. First mole, alright. I just need to find this third one. Moles.
The good thing is the moles will always move in the same direction. As in, it's not random where they're placed. So if you can manipulate them correctly, then you'll be able to work out where they are.
If you don't have a consistent way of getting to that first section, then it might as well be random. And for these apples, it looks like you can use gravity to skip between apple to apple, but there's actually, for once in this game, Nintendo put invisible walls to prevent you from doing that.
Yeah.
Getting them more here just by triple jumping up to this launch star. And weirdly, some interesting things happen if you use hacks to hit those branches out of order. The worm will do some really interesting things. YouTube. It's 5, but it's pretty neat. Here's the Major Bros fight. Really an auto-scroller. But there is a small element of RNG here. Oh!
Oh!
Ground pound there for some reason. Not entirely sure why.
Danny, there was a spin input there. Oh, yeah. Obviously not intentional.
Burrow's current comes for how long it takes for him to pop out of the ground as RNG. You can kind of circumvent that second part by staying above him when he comes out, rather than just running away from him. But it's very easy to get hurt by Major Bros when doing that. Twice in a row there to get him to come out and start running away quicker. So she's going to be heading off to Gusty Garden. Couple of missed hits on Major Burrows is going to be a bit of a time loss for Danny there. If you do secret first in Gusty Garden, is that correct? I don't know if it really matters or not.
They do secret because of the cycle of the golden chain jump.
So Gusty Garden secret is basically you need to use, while on the flower, you need to collect a few of those big coins in order to eventually spawn a rainbow star that you can use to kill the golden chump. If you miss any of them, you can just do Gusty Garden 3 as a backup, but doing the star first makes cycles better. And for a gravity skip here, where after collecting this last coin, he's going to use the flower's momentum to get him high enough so that he can just release off of the flower and gravity field. Very nicely done. That's actually rather.
Gets hit by a spinner.
Easy to do when you're going through the coins.
That puts a spinner in the works.
accidentally
Also,
got
Danny missed the question block, so he's gonna have to fall down.
Yeah. Hard for him.
So a bit of time lost there.
Rather nicely though.
Ooh,
Bunny
Claire.
Luckily, she has a lot of star bits, so she can stun the bunny.
Right. Oh, okay. Bounces on top.
Nicely.
The reason Claire tried to shake there was because you can extend your hitbox when you shake, so that you can pick up the bunny a bit quicker. It's helpful in Gold Leaf 1, which we'll get to soon.
Wait, because when you're doing those bunnies, you're not able to spin then. I'm going to be doing Gust of Garden 3. Probably going to be going for the same gravity skip here. And 3 is one of the few instances where there's actually a Luigi-only skip. It doesn't save that much time over the strat you would do as Mario. It's still a much better time save. And honestly, the strat as Mario looks much cooler. See him do is at the very end of the gravity block section. He's gonna just long jump off the right, and Luigi gets just enough height from the long jump and wall kick and spin to make it to the final set of platforms at the end of the level.
Nice star chips from Danny.
Make sure those two ones that are rotating around the planet line up properly.
So Claire's going to use 2-player here to get the moles in the position she wants.
Platforms and foot switch, she's able to just hold them in place so that they don't get away from her.
Danny gets hit by a cannonball but doesn't die.
Only skip. Very nicely done. And when you do that skip, the platforms on this area don't activate. Two really cool strats you can do as Mario. One where you go a little bit further past where you did that long jump, and long jump straight to the gravity lever on the far away platform, and that just automatically sends you to that last planet. Another that I think Valor found, where you hit the first gravity lever and then wall jump back onto the platforms before you can fall off of them, and then long jump in it from a specific platform all the way to that final set.
Oh, really? That's cool. I gotta check that out.
More difficult though, and doesn't save too much time.
Right.
Danny's going to be doing another Daredevil. This time it's just a fight against Major Burrows, but get hit, so he better not pull what he did on the first fight against him.
So both runners are doing the same fight? Different versions. So Claire's going to be jumping over Mage Burrows to save a bit of time. That's pretty risky though.
It's possible to do Gusty Garden Comet in 0 A+. Somewhat active community for the Galaxy ABC. Exactly know how much progress they make. But Danny's using those star bits to stun Major Burrows. Otherwise, it's very easy for him to get away. And once he gets, if you wait too long before hitting Major Burrows, he'll actually dig back into the ground. Rather costly. Completely done with Gusty Garden. And Claire's about to start Gusty Garden's Secret. start the entirety of Freeze Flame. Freeze Flame 1 gets off to a somewhat slow start because there's this little segment where you have to chase the skating. There's twice, once for Freeze Flame 1 and once for the secret. But then after that, you get into some pretty decent action. And there's also a mini boss in the start. Grab and skip mess. Oh, she's doing Gusty Garden 3 first.
Hmm.
Hit from those thorns. Those thorns can be rather tricky. It's not good. Jumping up to the sledge and then using a secret sling star to get up here early.
Danny's gonna do another triple jump here up to the item box, and then onto the sling star, and then up to the boss platform.
The Ice Luigi is actually rather tricky because the spin doesn't really give you that much height. You do maintain your forwards momentum when you're getting the Luigi on the skip. Its Baron Burr can be a little bit tricky if you know what you're doing.
Danny did well there.
Danny is actually going to be doing the Freeze Flame Comet. Weirdly enough, the Comet is actually based on Star 3, but you only need Star 1 in order to unlock it. And this isn't the only galaxy in the game that has that anomaly. Sea Slide Galaxy also has that issue. Player's going to be doing a Gusty Guardian Comet now. Remind everybody that Danny is slightly less ahead than it looks like. An extra star in Freeze Flame, whereas Claire is going to get to skip Freeze Flame 3. No, I don't think it's the longest star in Freeze Flame. I could be wrong, though. This is another Cosmic Luigi race. Utilizing a lot of skating long jumps to skip over quite a few gaps here.
Let's see if he gets the boost at the start.
Those transitions from the floor to that higher portion of gravity can be kind of awkward. Just turn around right at the start, like right here. That's how I kind of turned around right for a little bit.
If you shake immediately, you'll start skating backwards, even if you're holding up. You gotta wait a bit. Nice fight from Claire as well.
Very nice, Major Girls. Do Freeze Flame 2, which, if he goes for it, has the coolest strat in the game, in my opinion. Not a whole lot of top runners go for this strat.
The 6-set one? No, Danny, I don't. Oh, let's leave it up to suspense. Let's build the suspense.
Claire's gonna do
Alright. So Danny's gonna collect these star chips by holding neutral when he shakes against the crystals to stop his momentum or his movement. And then he's also going to do a
right away.
Right. He's going to do a skating long jump into the launch star rather than using the pull stars right there.
It's just slightly more convenient. But we'll see what he opts to go for here. So if you want, you can grab that live stream and then do a lava wall boost to gain insane horizontal momentum, and basically skip all the way to the ending section using some really cool lava boosts. But it's only around a second faster if done optimally. Although some would argue that it's easier to do optimally. He's also able to just utilize the gravity skip there to skip to that ending section. Here he's going to use Fire Mario's fireball throwing animation. Fire Luigi. I'm sorry. I play Galaxy 2 too much. He's going to use Fire Luigi's fireball making animation to keep him suspended in midair. Kind of allows you to avoid falling in the lava there. Freeze flame. You're doing
so Danny's heading into Freeze Flame 3, which Claire will not do.
The star that Claire's going to be skipping. This is what she's got. This is what Claire replaced Battle Rock. This is what Claire replaced with Battle Rock Secret. Honestly, it seems like Claire is kind of gaining some time back on Danny. Costly mistakes in Gusty Garden. The start of Freeze Flame 3 there, you just kind of skip all around there by just jumping to the other side. Actually not going to be long jumping here because due to the curvature of the planet, it's actually not faster to long jump there. So this is gate to avoid having to go all around it. And then grab this fire flower with a backflip and then jump back onto the gate to skip having to go back there again.
Claire gets hit by the Baron Burr's ice balls and gets hit again, only on 1 health. Not good.
Well, luckily, once you get past the first phase, the last 2 phases are not hard, as long as you just back up and spin at the right time.
Right.
Be able to, as you see right there, when he span across that gap, he didn't gain a lot of height, but his force momentum was mostly preserved. From Danny. How the comet cycles are going to work out for Claire. I don't know if she's going to be able to do Freeze Flame Comet next. No. I assume she's going to do Freeze Flame 2 next. She might do the Secret next, actually. Do right now. Okay, she's doing Freeze Flame 2. Danny's going to be doing Freeze Flame Secret. Do the penguin catching thing on the first planet, but then after that he's going to be taking a different path. Actually a very entertaining star because there's a lot of really neat sequence breaks that kind of happen one after the other. Very solid start to the Freeze Flame 2.
Claire just misses the quick long jump.
Scene, it's very difficult. Due to the cutscene and the way the camera works there, it can be very difficult to time that long jump. And the gravity can sometimes just mess you up.
So Danny's getting up this slope by continually spinning.
Do on a Honey Hive 1 and 2. Let's start early. Claire's not opting to do the lava wall boost either, she's just going to opt to do the safe. Do this at 1 HP, which is not exactly safe. She could opt to kill this enemy, and she's not going to.
This is risky.
If
should be alright.
Yeah,
Danny's
the box is
heading
going to
up
be
the
out.
mountain.
Be under her. Yeah, I was going to see there. Danny just skipped basically that by using a series of good jumps and wall jumps and spinning onto higher ledges.
Hmm.
Next up, Danny's going to be doing honey climb. So this strat, there's a new strat that was discovered here just a few months ago by Valu, who currently holds the world record in this category. Grab B Mario. If you have B Mario or B Luigi and you're on, and you're facing up and you jump without touching the control stick and shake, you're able to actually gain quite a bit of height just from the flight. You're probably going to see Danny go for at least on the first planet and maybe a couple times on the third planet. It is rather finicky though, and if you fail it, you can lose quite a bit of time by just falling all the way down. Around 20 seconds in total on this star. What do we do here? Okay, he used a lot of midair spins there to kind of control his height. That was very clever. Nice jump cancel there also. This planet, since this revolves more around horizontal movement instead of vertical. Also, there's just a lot of star bits here. So let's see what Danny decides to go for here. Using the pinters from those bugs to gain some height from those.
Oh, he's gonna make the cycle. Yep. Can be annoying when the moving platforms don't move how you want them.
Again, this last planet is
pretty nice.
That was very good. If you mess up any of those, you can fall all the way down. Because it's very hard. Sometimes if you're just short of a honeycomb, it's very difficult to recover. Freeze Climb Secret and Honeycomb. So she's, I'd say, probably around still 3.5 minutes, maybe 4 behind Danny.
Yeah.
And he's been keeping it going. He hasn't really let up on his lead.
Yeah.
He's just been extending it, it seems like. As we're going into the next Bowser level, which this is a level, there's a lot to it. A lot of sections in this level where you see that little purple stuff, that is dark matter, and it is an insta-kill if you touch it. The holes...
Also, Claire's doing a strat in this level developed by Valu, using a double wall jump, avoiding using the slope. And Danny's using a triple jump to avoid these moving platforms.
Skip pretty much both sets of moving platforms in this level, and also those little blue openings and these dark openings that you see there. Those are both dark matter, and they will insta kill you if you touch them. Doing a rather finicky skip here. Jump into this gravity field in a specific way.
Oh, Claire thinks she won't make it. With the fire flower, gotta go back. That's not good.
Trying to go and then potentially messing up and dying.
So Danny had a good Bowser too.
Very solid. Let's skip breaking those limo crystals just by jumping past them. We don't need to save them. Actually didn't opt to do any 2P jumps there, and I'm surprised. Seeing Danny do some canceling with the Bowser fight here, he's able to cancel the attacks by spinning at him. However, as the phases go on, Bowser's going to add one more dash to each of those attacks, so you have to add one more spin. Fireball, and now he's going to cancel this phase by doing a spin, and then canceling that spin with a jump, and then getting a spin from that midair jump. 2 hits. On the third phase, what he's going to do is that same move, and then after the second spin, while he's falling, he can still shake the Wii remote and do kind of like a loopy spin, that's still going to count to get him at the third cancel on Bowser. So he did a
very nice.
He spin, and that still works against enemies. That was very solidly executed. You also use that strat on the King Caliente fight in Good Egg 3, but we don't do that start at any percent. Right now, Claire's going to give her try a honey climb. Here. First planet manages to get to the launch star.
Yep.
Planet where it saves the most time because you basically skip all of the climbing. Make sure she stays at least just a tiny bit above the planet so she doesn't get hit by those asteroids. And also, while she's flying like that, she's just tapping A, which sustains your flight meter, and also you don't really lose life by doing that. Do on this last planet here. Alright, goes for the Pinester.
Nice boost. Gotta wait until the moving platform stops. Also good. Oh, yep.
Yes. That was very solid. Also,
much better than Danny.
Probably will actually against the Danny there, but that was still really solid. Hard to do.
Now Danny got a 146.10 for the Bowser 2 fight, so we'll see how far Claire is behind. I'll remember that.
Try to remember that. Now Danny's going to be heading up to the engine room in the game you have to go to. And interestingly, you don't actually have to do the boss fight in the engine room. At this point, you just need to get to 60 stars, and then you can go to Bowser's Galaxy Reactor, which is the final Bowser level. You can actually access this higher up area early by using a slip climbing. Completely useless because the loading zone, the door isn't open, and even if it was, the loading zone isn't there. Early, you can actually clip into the kitchen building early, where the loading zone should be, but if you haven't beaten the Star Reactor, then the loading zone isn't there. Run along the edges there. You won't get hurt by the dark matter if you run along the edges like that.
Ooh.
Right there.
Yeah. So all Danny's going to be doing is collecting star chips, so we'll focus on Claire. Oh!
This main planet.
Oh no! Too late. And she dies.
Yeah. So Gold Leaf, this main planet, is actually the main planet of Honey Hive, just mirrored. The developers kind of got a little bit lazy here. And also, obviously, there's a palette swap if you must. Obviously, games would use palettes for colors.
And Claire gets it.
That probably still saves time over.
Oh yeah, definitely.
With riding the platform. Again, just skipping these limbos.
Alright, so Danny's going to be shooting star bits at bunnies for the last time in the run. Doesn't get it first try, but that's fine.
Strat, I don't remember who found it either, but there's a strat, I believe, where you can just backflip in place as soon as the bunny starts running away, and he'll just run towards you.
Yeah, Claire's actually been doing that recently, so we'll see that when she goes for good Gold Leaf 1.
It's not necessarily faster, but it's way more consistent.
Yeah.
Gold Leaf in general is a very entertaining galaxy. There's a lot of really to learn. In particular is a very difficult star to master. Even top runners have difficulty with it sometimes.
Nice spin cancels from Claire.
Yeah, those
really
are
good fight.
Gold Leaf 2 has a lot of skips. Oh, Bowser.
Yeah, it all happens pretty quickly.
You can. I don't know if Danny's going to go for the Cataquack skip here. I don't really know what's faster if you take the Cataquack or not. But using the Cataquack, it's a little bit easier to get some backwards momentum to get you to the launch start. Jump straight there. Oh, Timba just left. Kind of left.
Yeah, sorry, I'm back. Sorry.
How he skips back to back there. He did that, and then he did that cube
triple jump to the cube.
Nice.
That was good.
Get too messed up on that kind of. You're gonna skip another Cataquack here by just jumping straight to the beat suit.
Yep, no Cataquacks.
Another Luigi only strat. He just jumps off from there, and as long as he just keeps holding A, he can barely make it up to that flower.
Oh, yep.
Oh,
so Claire is 5 minutes behind Denny.
Yeah, that's going to be very difficult to make up. Danny's going to need to mess up from here on out for Claire to be able to take that time back. Or make, like, the same major mistake, like, 3 times in a row.
Yeah.
And Gold Leaf 3, which has the infamous tree skip. So you can do a wall jump off a tree to skip most of the platforming at the top of the first planet in Good Egg 3. I mean, Gold Leaf 3. My bad.
B-suit slow.
Also, the camera for the skip is awful. It's pretty much impossible to tell what you're doing.
Yeah.
Probably gonna go for the triple jump setup. Yeah. Oh, he messed it up. Very nice backup. Like that, you want to be holding a direction. What direction you hold the nunchuck when you wall jump, as long as you wall jump as soon as possible, will actually determine the angle you wall jump off at. So right there, Danny was kind of trying to hold towards the wall, so that when he wall jumped, his angle would be more towards the wall, and he could make it on the top from there. Okay, so by landing on the edge of that fence, you skip the cutscene, and also the trigger that allows this mole to start attacking you. It's easier and obviously saves a little bit of time. For the cutscene actually still exists. You can enter the trigger zone even when the boss has been defeated, and the cutscene will activate.
Yeah.
Very close fall for Claire there. You jump there.
Oh. Okay.
Doing the Gold Leaf secret, which is not a particularly interesting star, it's just a bubble. You have to collect a bunch of musical notes. This star is actually very hard to do fast. Because pointer based, and you have to constantly be keeping track of the bubble, and trying to collect all the notes while moving the bubble as fast as possible is not easy.
And Claire's doing the trustful strat. And the bunny just walks straight to her.
It's there. Pretty solid until then. Last star in Gold Leaf for Danny is going to be the Comet, which is the third Cosmic Luigi race. It's this one or Sea Slide that I'd say is the hardest Cosmic Luigi race. In this one, you also have to do the tree skip, and since Cosmic Luigi is much faster, you only have around 3 tries at it before you basically have to die, because if Cosmic Luigi reaches the star before you do, then you fail. 2. For no good reason. More forgiving for the tree skip on this star, though. Shouldn't have too many issues with it. Goose. Kind of run against the wall there.
Very nice from Danny. Yeah. Triple jump for Claire on the cube planet. First try.
Maybe
Now Claire's...
probably make this star a blessing.
Yeah. Now Claire's gonna... Yeah, Claire's not gonna use the B suit here. She's gonna try and triple jump from the platform. And do a 2P jump. She was having trouble with this last race. Let's see if she can get it.
Oh. I have never seen this before.
Okay, looks like going for a different angle.
This is insane.
This is not good.
Triple jumps in this game.
Gonna go for the backup now. Danny's heading to C slide 1, which is just an auto scroller. And Claire finishes out gold leaf 2.
So with Mario, what you would do is you would actually hit light start off of the rubble from one of the moles and just use that to get enough height to fly to that flower. Obviously much slower. Danny's just kind of having to... Starting gold leaf 3. 2P jump should also be making this start much easier for her.
Yeah.
Here. The other thing about gold leaf 3 is that whenever you bounce, when you take a swing, that actually stores your facing angle for the trampolines, but it doesn't really matter for this star. Speedrunning strats. Angles you can get from the swing here, and with either one, you can make the jump from the... Even if you couldn't, you can make it up without the trampoline.
Claire's really struggling with this. Claire's really struggling with this backflip. She's going to use 2 player strats to get up here now.
Claire's not even going to have to worry about the trampoline. Let's see if she gets the question. This is rather tricky. You have to land on a specific part of the fence.
Ooh.
Fell off there, but managed to get on.
Yeah.
The fight is going to be very easy for her. On to Sea Slide Comet. So, the way underwater spinning works in this game is, I believe you can spin every frames. And if your spin reaches the surface in the last 11 frames, don't correct me if I'm wrong, then you actually can initiate a state what is known as surface spinning. Where in this state, you're able to repeatedly spin on the surface of water, and you actually travel much faster at this rate. And you also don't lose any air while doing so, because the thing with Luigi is he actually loses air every time he spins underwater. But Luigi loses more. But with surface spinning, you don't have to worry about that. It's very hard to initiate, but there are a couple of good setups that were found by Yoshi28. 4 of the race starts, which is very nice. Yeah, surface spin right away. That's very good.
Yeah, Danny seems to be quite consistent with his setups. It's good to see.
Seeing that a lot on the next Star Seas like this. So this is the other galaxy where a comet spawns earlier than it should, because this is actually based off of Sea Slide 2, but he's only done Sea Slide 1. Tackling the gold leaf secret now. Let's see if she's able to gain some of the time.
Oh, wow.
And here, very nicely done.
Yeah, that was really good.
Danny's going to be doing the star that will hurt your arm. Your wrist-based star.
Pretty much. You have to be shaking at such a rate that the surface spinning state will not go away. Has to be pretty fast. And also, when you're under the water, shaking is the fastest mode of swimming as well, so you need to be shaking for this whole race.
Monitoring your air and your health, because since you're going to be shaking underwater for about half the race, you are going to be losing quite a bit of air. Kind of air, you immediately die, but it will start slowly taking away health from you.
And then he gets
instant surface.
Yep.
Water and do some underwater movement here. Some coins at some point so that he doesn't run out of air. As you can see, he's already ran out of air. As Mario, he would have. He's going to go up to the surface here to refill. Probably going to grab a coin at some point here. Right there, he did. Just make sure he doesn't accidentally grab these red shells.
Claire going for triple jump, gets on the tree, yep. Let's see how Danny goes with the final surface swim.
If you're having trouble with surface spins, the easiest setup is you just hold down and keep shaking, and you're guaranteed to get it within 3 resurfaces. Alright, 49 seconds. That was a very
49 from Danny. Excellent.
Really good time for that is.
47. 46.
Toy time first.
Yeah. Personal preference. It doesn't lose or save anything.
Be opting to do toy time second, and he's already done the sea slide, so now it's going to look like the entire even, but Danny's actually 3 stars ahead. He's an entire sea slide ahead almost.
Hmm. Oh, Claire's going for early cycle. Some people call it Chrism cycle. Saves a bit of time when you get the frame perfect jump.
That's very good.
Hmm.
One has got a bunch of minor skips on pretty much every planet. Such as right there, you just triple jump into that, and then you long jump past that wall to skip out into a different gravity zone. And you also skip the spring mushroom just by using jumps to scale the walls instead of the spring mushroom.
Spring mushroom is very slow. We don't want to ever use it, if possible.
Actually, even without 2P, but it's just very, very hard. Actually, I think it's only possible with 2P. You can actually beat pretty much the entire game without using the spring once. And you can do all, which means you can do all of toy time without using the spring mushroom. In particular, that are almost impossible to do without 2P. Possible without 3P. They're just using very high jumps to scale the walls that you would normally use the spring mushroom to climb.
Yeah, Chloe's going for armpit skip now.
So basically, it kind of speaks for itself. You just long jump off to the right here, and you just wall jump to the armpit section. And this skip saves like a minute.
You gotta time your wall jumps correctly.
Very nice backup.
Yeah. Good save from Claire.
Ooh, wall jump long.
Let's see how Danny goes with it.
You can take more time on Claire if he gets this perfectly.
Pretty good so far, yep. Okay, good. Actually, it's not a close race. It's not a close race. Danny has already completed Sea Slide.
He's actually like in the ballpark of over 5 minutes ahead.
Yeah, 5 minutes.
minutes left. It's very unlikely that Claire will catch up at this point, but now we basically do the same start twice in a row, kind of. You'd say.
Both have done Gold Leaf. Danny's done Sea Slide, and now they're both in Toy Time.
Or they collect 50 star bits here, otherwise they do have to exit the level. And again, because if you just do Toy Time 2 second, then that will mess with the comet cycles, and obviously you don't want that. Star bits and then feed them through this time, and then that's to unlock these planets.
Claire used to tube.
Planets.
Yeah. Yeah, the Tox Box's instant kill, like we said earlier.
Grid properties. Like, sometimes you can just walk up to one of them and you'll brush up against them and use them. It's kind of cycle based. Claire barely escaped that time. Oh my goodness.
Whoa.
And first section, that was actually very solid. But now it's about making it through these platforms here. Put them in place with the 2P so they're not a problem.
Yeah.
Have to worry about those platforms because they could potentially get in the way. And if he hits one, if he hits the spikes on them, then it's a very costly mistake. But it just barely touched the corner of that platform. There's actually a soft lock you can get on this star and the next star, where if you get hit by one of those spikes and fall in between two flip switch panels in a specific way, Luigi will be in an infinitely fall and try to get back up, but he won't be able to. And you can't pause the game in this state, so your only option is to open the home menu and reset the game. And since you don't save at all in this run, because saving wastes time, you would basically lose all your progress and have to go right back to the beginning. Claire's comet cycles are working out. She actually gets to do Quick Time 2 third. And Danny gets to do a secret area, but with sped up enemies. Sure.
Claire missing the gravity field in the other section. Saves a little bit of time for the route.
Drill that, kind of activate that screw there. Actually skip that screw with the 2P jump, but it doesn't really save time. Do the 2P jump twice, once to get that star chip and then once to take the launch star.
Danny does well so far in Toy Time Comet.
Spikes on those platforms are bigger on the Comet, I believe. So getting those corner cuts is a lot more.
Oh, Danny. Yeah, the platforms are bigger. I'm pretty sure it's either a lot harder to softlock or impossible. So Claire's getting the 5. Oh no, that is not good. Wow. Claire hit the side of the lava there.
So when you get hit by a lava wall as opposed to a lava floor, you get boosted horizontally instead of vertically.
Hmm.
Very good Toy Time Comet overall. No soft blocks. Good to hope for. Now the only star he has left in the engine room is Toy Time 2. Back down to the kitchen to get a couple more stars and finish off with the one final star on the terrace. do. So the basic premise of this star is you just spin it, you collect the 5-star chips, and then you collect 5 silver stars on this creation of 8-bit Mario. Earlier I mentioned that game over is pretty rare in this game, and that soft block does prevent you from saving and you lose all your progress. But if you were to game over, the game does ask you if you want to save before resetting you, and you wouldn't really lose progress. So the only way you would really lose progress is if you get that soft block.
Danny almost gets the backward momentum boost off the enemy there. Oh, Claire almost gets squashed.
Cycles are a bit harder to manage. Oh boy.
Wow.
Claire's having a lot of saves on this planet. After this, Claire still has to do all of C Slide, whereas Danny, after this star, is going to go straight out of the engine room.
Oh, Claire. Claire trying to manipulate with 2-player, but messing up a little bit.
The stocking's going to be rather tricky to manage.
Yeah, it must be hard to think of everything at the same time.
Star bits for Drip Drop, which is nice. Doesn't have to go out of his way to get any more. Drip Drop, he is going to visit Gooey Base and get both of the stars from there. Is going to also have a Luigi only skip. I'll explain when we get to the end of it. Off to C Slide, she still has to do these 3 stars. Yeah, Danny has unless something like really bad happens, like his power goes out or his game crashes or something. I think Danny's got this, but
yeah.
The opposite, you do a spin and then wait before doing your ground pound there. You can actually spin and ground pound on the same frame, which cancels the spin entirely, and it allows you to ground pound out of a long jump, but it's frame perfect at 60 frames per second, so it's easy.
Yeah. And Danny spinning away from the cage a bit earlier, knowing that the torpedo would hit, reaching the surface a little bit sooner.
It's extremely awkward.
Yeah, the camera's very bad.
A Luigi only skip, unless you have 2P, which Claire does. He's going to skip getting the starships on this planet by entering the gravity field of this planet early. And the way he's going to do this is when he spins at the right time, it actually cancels the spin and gives you a really high bounce. And with the nunchuck spin, that's barely enough height to make it into the gravity field of that planet.
Yeah.
To do that skip using nothing but a 2P jump. Tries trying to get that skip, but he definitely still saved time over doing the starships. Got the auto-scroller right now. Next, Danny has to do the Wii-based secret star, which is relatively straightforward. I'll toss out of the water there. Star, kind of.
So Danny can skip the cutscenes?
Yeah, yep. Danny was able to skip the cutscenes because he'd already seen them.
And if you... Sorry, you go.
I actually want to do GUI Base 1 first, because then one less star appears on the star select menu, which does save time. Right here, he's gonna fill and then just long jump across this gap. You want to make sure you don't fall in there, or else you have to re-enter the pipe.
Manipulating the bullet bill, trying not to take damage from this enemy right here. Oh, takes damage, but is okay.
Really matter that much. He would have been fine.
Yeah.
Being the Cosmic Luigi Racing Seaslide. Spins her for her today.
Yep.
Drip Drop, which is probably the biggest run killer in late game. So recall how a couple times throughout this run I've said that enemies or any moving elements that are not on camera just will not move. That applies to the eels in this star. You need a very, very specific setup and very specific movement throughout the star in order to execute the strat perfectly, and one mess up can lead to about 20 seconds lost. Surface found the land there, but was able to move out of the way quickly enough and did the surface spin successfully.
Yeah, she got it first try, which is excellent. Really nice.
And he doesn't get destroyed by Drip Drop here. This is a notorious star to fall off. Music in this level is really soothing, which intimidates you once you get mad at the level for killing your run. Eel. So now he has to move off to the left a little bit so that this eel gets on camera and it's in position for him when he grabs the shell. He did those first two eels perfectly, so this third eel should be in a pretty good position.
Really nice.
Very good. Claire's going to have another advantage because she can actually stun the eels with 2P to worry about the cycles as much. Or if she misses about missing a shot, because if you do miss a shot with the green shell, it's much better to back it up with the red shell because red shells will actually home in on eels. An awkward start to the race here.
Ooh.
Her pain right now. Oh my goodness. I don't...
Oh. Keep going. I assume she's quite frustrated right now.
I think she just needed to take a moment to recompose, you know. Have to do with Honey Hive Luigi. Kind of anticlimactic, honestly.
Well, the bug's pretty scary.
Yeah, really it doesn't matter what star you do as your last star, because your 60th star brings you to the observatory anyways. Right, Claire can still win the race. Those penguins are not very fast. Gaining the surface. Oh, losing the surface win.
Ooh.
Not good. Able to finish the race. You do not want to have to lose that race. And that is Danny's 60th star. I don't know for sure, but I think Danny might be on PB pace here.
Yeah, I think he can actually 226.30 or something.
This would be this could be a pretty big PB for him because this one has been very, very solid so far.
Because his Bowser 3 gold is either 717 or 727, and if my maths is right, 6.5, 7 and okay, 52 seconds ahead, according to Cloud. That is amazing.
So Claire still now now Claire is done with the engine room, and she's going to be last remaining stars in the kitchen. Again, she's going to have a bit of an easier time with the buoy base 1 skip and with Drip Drop because she has 2P, but Bennett at this point. He doesn't make like any super major mistakes in the final Bowser level. He should have a PB on lock. And even if he doesn't PB, even if he only gets like a 227, that's still an insane time for a race.
exactly. Definitely. So Claire's going to do boy base 1 and using 2-player, going to be able to get the skip quite easily.
It's going to be starting Bowser's Galaxy Generator. This is a rather long level, and pretty much every section has something major to it. So this first section has cycles with a bunch of lights that he's going to try to hit to across the walls for the first part. Much if he misses the cycle, but still not if you want to make. So he's going to triple jump on top of here and just kind of safing it out. I don't blame him one bit. When you're on this good of a pace, yeah, you definitely.
He should be able to make it. He should be able to make it. Oh, okay, maybe not.
Yeah.
Missed the backflip there. That's okay. And Claire gets the skip. 2-player.
That doesn't. Danny. That doesn't lose that much time, anyways. Right? You have to try to enter this portal here.
Okay.
Long jump. He has to long jump at a slight angle there because there's actually an invisible wall right behind there. So you have to long jump around that. Also, Danny's run. This run isn't going to be valid because he doesn't look like he's going to collect 69 Stardust.
Zero is the choice.
Cost him a little bit of time, but he should still be able to. If he's able to salvage the time loss in this final section. If he doesn't die in this final section, he should.
Yeah.
This last section is really where it comes down to. Manipulating that bolt also that runs into there. Get momentum from these platforms if you long jump off them as they're rising up, but
okay, damage boosting gonna go underneath this. Oh, takes damage. That's not good. Danny actually found that strat. Okay, not dead. That's the main thing. Oh, okay.
Oh,
okay.
So,
not perfect, but fine.
Still an easy 226 pace, though, unless he messes up the Bowser fight really badly, but...
Yeah. Wow.
Bowser fight really badly. And meanwhile, Claire's done with Gooey Base, and she's going to be heading on to Drip Drop. The true final boss, of course, is these stairs.
Oh, almost. Perfect.
At least you didn't bonk on any of those. It's super easy to bonk on those stairs. Claire is going back to the engine room for some reason.
I think Claire has maybe given up. Gonna do Bowser 3, kind of. Oh, Bowser Jr. 3, sorry.
Opting to do Bowser, the third Bowser Jr. level. So this is the... You don't actually have to do this level in any percent.
I think she wants to head to Garden.
Okay, so the final Bowser fight, pretty straightforward. You just... Claire dying. It is really obnoxious. You basically have to hope that Bowser lands in a good position here. On top of these green things. Otherwise, it's very... Yeah. If he lands right on top of one, then it just continues to be flattened, and if there's no others in close proximity, then it's very hard to hit him. So, boss, the true final battle here. I'm gonna wait for Bowser to start this rolling attack, and then purposely take damage from this shockwave, which will cancel the rolling attack early. thing on the second phase about using one of Bowser's fireballs, but he's going to combine that with canceling the fireball attack early. He's got to try to find a fireball fast enough. Not going to get him to land right on top of the...
Okay.
He just has to make these final 2 hits and the fight will be over.
Alright.
2, and GG. Of course, we have like 40 seconds left, but GG.
Wow. What a run.
Insane run. Very big PV for him, too.
Mm.
So good.
And he recently PV'd too.
Very nice. Good GG to you, Danny. And he's just joined us.
Oh, man.
Oh,
hey,
thank you. How's that feel?
Thanks.
How do you
What
feel?
a run.
I am surprised and also really happy.
Wow.
I get no, dude, 226 without doing the Luma skipping gateway.
Yeah. Yeah, you had a 426, wasn't it? Wow.
And very solid time
Yeah,
for a race, too.
We were saying Claire was making some small mistakes, and they were building up, but we couldn't think of anything that you were doing wrong. It's just you kept nailing all the tricks.
Yeah, like I felt really focused, like pretty much after Terrace. Like it was really weird to be playing so well. Like my Terrace was, my Terrace was a 26:04, excuse me, and then I had one slip up in Battle Rock 1, but then I don't know, I just kept doing pretty well after that. Ghostly 1's always difficult to do well on. Oh, my Bowser 1 was a 343. It was a gold. I don't think community gold, but
okay,
it was still really good. It was my first 343, so that's awesome. Gusty Garden, I don't know where my mind was in Gusty Garden, but I just kept making a lot of silly mistakes.
Yeah, you got spanned by that mole. And then
I was trying to go a little too fast on the hit, and then the question mark leading to the wrench being thrown at me was really. And then I took a hit in Gusty Garden 3 on that last planet, and let's see what came after that. Bowser 2 was a gold by 3 seconds, so that was really good. And without fast gravity skip, so
you did a very good job of overall just staying consistent throughout the run. You didn't seem to let up on your lead at all.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, I finally went back into green in Freeze Flame Secret, and then I just stayed green the rest of the time. So yeah, I think
I guess Garden in any percent he's in Milton 1 right now. So
I'm looking at the stream right now, and that's it's interesting. When did she start going off route?
After Buoy Base.
After Buoy Base? Okay.
Yeah, she just did level, and now she's in Milton.
Okay, because I saw her get a Grand Star with like 1 star left in the middle, and I was like, wait, that's not a route. What?
That's how like she was going to lose, so she just wanted to show off.
One other thing I'll say about the run is I'm kind of saddened by how Bowser 3 went. I just kind of started choking because of the pace, because like I could get like my best possible time going into Bowser 3 was a 2:26.15. So I didn't really need to do much to get like a low 2:26, which would have been awesome.
2:26 nonetheless. So.
Yeah. A personal goal of mine is to beat Sludgy's former world record of 2:26.32, and sadly I came just short of that. But I mean, just looking at this run, this is going to be really nice to race because of the horrible beginning. It's not going to be hard to lead that by like 20 seconds, and then there's going to be a really nice save at the end. So as long as I just practice all that and stay consistent and just kind of keep my head in the game, you know, because I was constantly, I was just constantly thinking through each split about like, okay, I need to make sure I do this just so that I don't make any stupid mistakes.
So I think this confirmed.
I was actually about to ask you, like, what's your plan from here? Like, what do you plan on doing next? Do you plan on going for 2:25 maybe, or?
I might actually. I wouldn't have considered that before this run because 2:26 was already proving to be really difficult, but I think this run shows that I can push this to a 2:25 potentially.
Before the final Bowser stage?
I think, Danny, this confirms that you should never use a mic ever again on stream. And, yes, to focus.
Go hardcore style.
But seriously,
so you on pace for a 2:39 maybe?
2:38 or 2:39 potentially.
Yeah. So Danny, you're up against Sludgy, the loser of Sludgy and Hardcore.
Yes.
Who would you prefer to race against?
Well, considering what Hardcore did against me in Winners Round 4, I would probably prefer Sludgy, although he has been consistently playing Luigi any percent as of late, so I mean, I think neither of them are going to be very favorable to me, to be totally honest.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
like I don't see myself cranking out a run like this in another race, although I'd love to be proven wrong.
Go, Luigi.
Yeah.
Get out though, you probably could, because like that was very consistent gameplay.
Yeah. Up until Gusty Garden, and then after Gusty Garden, it kind of came back. So yeah, Terrace, Gusty Garden, Bowser 3. Yes, thank you.
I can't believe you PB'd in a race.
I can't believe it either. I think that's the second time I've PB'd in any kind of race. I mean, not a race like speed gaming, but yeah, it's rare. It's very rare.
Especially with your skill level. Like, for example, someone who doesn't play the game very much, it's understandable.
Yeah.
But for you, at one of the top runners ever, PV during a race, wow.
Yeah.
Insane. Good stuff.
Appreciate it, man. Alright, so,
yeah, I don't know what's... I guess we'll wait for Claire. We'll see if she wants to say something.
Yeah, might as well stick around to the end.
So talk us through early cycle. What happened? What were you thinking?
Okay, so I had... Well, okay, so the beginning started well. And then when I was trying to backflip into the spotlight, I mixed up my input, so I had a normal jump instead of a backflip. And then I don't really remember what happened after that, but the cycle just got too far along where I couldn't make my way up, so I had to wait.
I think... did you try and long jump up, and then you bonked back down onto the spotlight?
I did bonk on the second spotlight, trying to get out of it. I think what happened was my long jump was like too far up the spotlight, so I was too close to the wall. So that kind of caused me to instantly bonk. That's my theory, anyway.
Right.
And then, of course, yeah. Or go on. Go ahead.
Do other runners just single jump rather than long jump? I don't know. It's. I mean,
you know, I haven't really watched other runners do early cycle in a while, so not entirely sure.
Okay, that's fine.
Actually, now that I think of it, I probably should have just done a normal jump. That would probably be more reliable.
Claire's heading into the final Bowser fight. I think she's on at least 239 pace. The Bowser fight in under 3 minutes. Like from the time you enter the Bowser Jr. cutscene to the time you grab the Grand Stone.
Yeah. Yeah, it should be 239.
Yeah.
And then also that strat that you made where you go underneath the, what's it called? The big one? The big bullet bill?
Oh yeah, the damage boost.
Yeah. You almost got
so
that.
yeah, what happened was I was too far to the left because I got momentum off the platform, so then that caused me to hit the lava a little too far away from the stones. So I had to like cover a little more distance, and I guess I wasn't really up for that, so I was a little too far to the left. And I think that screwed things up for me, because I normally have that down pretty well, as long as I'm centered straight down the middle, where the cannon is.
Okay.
But yeah, that's something I'm gonna go for every time, regardless. Like, even though that happened. And if I were more down the middle, I would have grabbed a coin, and that, like, I very nearly could have died, and that would have been, like, the run would have been dead. So I'm happy I didn't die, because that was extremely possible.
Second time saver on the Bowser fight on this phase, where you spin at Bowser to get him to start jumping earlier.
But yeah, I was panicking when I was on 1 life, but I managed to get through it somehow.
Oh yeah, and here's another advantage for PvP. You can just kind of bring things all around, and one of them basically bound to hit Bowser.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of interesting like strats from both of you, but more so Claire with her 2-piece strats that I didn't even know. When I saw Claire's keyless strats, I'm just like, no way.
That's what I was like when I was commentating Claire versus Artemis. Like I was blown away by those 2-piece strats. Like, as in I've never seen them before.
Just finished up the first phase of the final section, it looks like, so all she has left is final 3 hits. Mid 239. Ah, barely missed that. One more. And at mid 239 for Claire. Interesting showcase from her.
Yeah, Claire had some frustrating moments.
Yeah, I wasn't watching any of the stream while I was playing because I was just focusing.
Fair
More
enough.
so than usual.
Here. An interview. Oh, there she is.
Cool.
Hi, hey Claire.
Hi, how are you guys?
Hello.
Hello. Oh, you know. I don't know, like, okay, so, up until Engine Room, I pretty much still had a chance to PB, and then a lot of stuff went wrong in Engine Room, and then I just kind of stopped caring. I think it was Toy Time 1. No, I don't know, it was one of those levels that I just kind of stopped caring. Yeah.
So were you mainly frustrated, or were you just looking at how Danny was going?
I mean, I knew that I wasn't gonna win, like, the first 10 seconds of the race, since I didn't start till like 8 seconds late. I don't know what my deal was there. Like, I don't know, like, I didn't really... I mean, I knew I was gonna win. And I also knew I wasn't gonna PB, so I was like, eh.
So I didn't know a lot of those 2P strats were a thing, so that was very entertaining to watch.
That's
You
why
surprised me with that, like, Ghost and Secret strats.
Yeah, I love that strat. It's so good. That's why everybody should run 2P, because it's just much cooler.
I've got to ask you, Claire. Have you tried doing keyless with one player?
No.
Okay. I was going to ask whether you think it's easier with 2-player or not.
I mean, it's probably easier with 2P just because a lot of people seem to say that it's really, really, really hard with 1P. But I don't have too much trouble with 2P. I did miss it, though, so that's something.
You still have to land on that very thin platform.
Yeah, I actually have a kind of... It's not really a setup, but, like, I have muscle memory for that now, so I'm getting better at it.
Okay.
Being showcased for me, it was nice seeing the garden, seeing Melty Molten 1 and 90%.
Melty Molten is the best galaxy in the games, and I had to just show it off. Also, I needed to practice for 120. When is there going to be a 120 tournament? Because that's what I want to be a part of.
Sometime in the future, like maybe over like a summer break or something.
Oh, yeah. That sounds like fun.
What they decide to do.
All right. I think we're done.
GG to both
Are
of
we
you.
done,
That was an
Viper?
entertaining race. Both of you, that was a very entertaining race. Either of you got any final things you want to say?
I have two things I want to say. First of all, congratulations, Danny, on 226.
No, thank you.
That's
GG is...
GG. I knew you could do it. And also, the Sludgy Gamer sucks.
I kind of wanted to beat you to that, but then I decided that would be too mean.
Look, that's my thing now, since, like...
Yeah, you can have your thing.
Yay.
Alrighty. Thank you, everyone. Congratulations,
Hey.
Danny.
Alright, thank you.
And
Thank you guys for
we're
commentating.
done. No worries. Alright, bye.
Alrighty, good night.
See you.
Good night, everybody.
Or a good day. Yep.